And like I was telling her, Chris, we're back, baby. It's been 3 weeks of no content. Of course, we did see each other for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Did not get to record a review. So you know what? We said let's do it tonight. So we're going to do that. We've got 3 episodes of What If Season 2 to talk about. But Chris, it is good to talk to you. We caught up a lot before we recorded. I guess 20 minutes worth of conversations of just seeing how everything's going. And listen, this is episode 140 of the Nerdwide podcast, starting the year 2024 with episode 140. If this is your first episode, I'm Tyler Haynes, registered nurse, TV show, gaming fanatic, loves everything Iron Man, as you can see behind me. And trying to think, I guess that's pretty much it. You know, I'd really like to do anything TV-wise. Marvel, DC, which we'll talk about a lot here on the podcast. And to my right, or if you're listening in, this is Chris Rivers over here.
Hi.
Horror aficionado, I would like to say. And movie fanatic. Watches, probably seen more movies than probably triple the amount of movies I've seen in my lifetime. I say Chris has seen.
Well, I'm also older than you, so.
Well, yeah, still, though. I mean, you know, movies are more so your thing than they are.
Head start.
You know. Quick housekeeping before we play catch up here. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube or podcasting service, whatever choice you decide to listen to us or watch us on. If you enjoy the show, make sure you give us a thumbs up on YouTube or give us a great rating on whatever podcasting app you do use. If you do not enjoy what you see or hear, make sure you let us know down in the comments. Can't fix anything, don't know it's broken, don't know if there's anything wrong like that. Like my camera right now keeps auto-focusing my face for some reason. I think I'm moving too much. I'm just way too excited, that's the problem. If you want to do more, you can always go to patreon.com/nerdwide. 3 different tiers for 3 different monthly subscription values. If you want to recommend shows, TV, movies, games, books, comics, any of that kind of stuff, that is the place to do it, as well as getting the episodes early. But Chris, it's been 3 weeks since this podcast of we've been on here. How have you been? Anything exciting happened? What's life been like? Fill us all in.
First, your camera might be autofocusing because there's a ghost in the room and it's picking up that.
Nope, not tonight. It's not. I can tell you that much.
No, past few weeks. So our holidays at work kind of got jumbled around, so that was no fun. We still got them, but it was interesting.
Having the New Year and Christmas on a Monday, it was just not a good scenario for corporate life, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Not at all. I think we need to permanently make it like a Sunday.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Or a Friday and get off Thursday, half a day Thursday, be off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or something like that. You know what I mean? I'd be down for that.
Yeah. It was great though to have a lot of long nights because I work nights, so being able to just sit and catch up on some stuff and not feel rushed to do it. I have a New Year's resolution to watch at least 1 movie a day, which I've been successful on so far. So
you've seen 7 movies so far this year?
7 movies. So
right on. I should probably set a resolution. Right now, it's to log everything that I watch or play into an app somewhere.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the year, I felt like, because that's what I was doing last year. But towards the end, I started slacking off a little bit.
Well, and you told me some very interesting news about the app we use, Letterboxd.
Yes. They're going to be, from a tweet that they replied to someone's tweet, and that they're going to be integrating TV shows very soon. They didn't say when, they just said very soon. So I'm like, hopefully this month. And so that means we need one app for all of our shows and movies, and which you can follow us both on Letterboxd if you're curious about that. Of course, you might get a little spoilers on where we rank things before we do it on the podcast, but all of our stuff is on there, and we do update that. Let's see. I think let's come back a couple weeks. So the week of our first break, I ruptured my eardrum. I'm happy to report I've got like 85% hearing back into it, and or 90%. I'm like almost there, which it takes 2 months to heal. I don't recommend anybody rupturing an eardrum.
You have to stop the Q-tip, Tyler.
Well, I just got really excited. So I watched Aquaman with only hearing out of one ear, which
You
was
didn't miss much.
no, it was fine. I mean, I didn't. I think Justin, is it you or Justin? Because we're the only three of the Superhero 7 to go watch this film. And one of you said, is it good for you to be watching an action movie with a ruptured eardrum? I said, I don't know, but we'll try it. And it didn't hurt anything, I guess. So, Steelers are in the playoffs. Thank you to the Tennessee Titans. I appreciate a great win from them. Although Derrick Henry's last game in the Titans uniform, well, he's apparently still at the stadium signing stuff. So for people that are there taking pictures, I'm like, yeah, he's gone. So I think Vrabel potentially gone as well. Tannehill, don't know. I think he'll be gone though as well.
Tannehill will be gone. Vrabel will go if. Thing is, they're not going to cut him.
Right.
He hadn't done anything to get fired for, so it would be if another team's willing to trade for him.
Yeah.
Which the Patriots might have an opening.
I mean, which is very sad as well. I'd rather him go out on top, Bill Belichick. But he's been doing it forever, so. This isn't a sports podcast, Chris. We got to stop talking about those things.
No, we ought to do one of those, though. That would be...
God, we would be... That'd take up all of our time. I'm trying to think if anything else happened like extraordinary the past couple of weeks in my life. Nothing. If I'm missing something, Jamie's going to be pissed off, but I can't think of anything. So I really don't know. Other than that, Chris, I want to get to it. Have you watched any TV shows? I know you've been watching movies a lot this past week. Have you watched any TV shows this past couple of weeks?
A lot of movies, a lot of YouTube content. I caught some Blue Bloods reruns and some stuff like that, but nothing.
Well, let me suit up and sit down, everybody, because it's time. Finish The Crown. Very love the historical drama stuff. Finished it. Did not cry. I did tear up a little bit during one scene at the finale. I was expecting to cry on that one, but did not. Very excited to see what happens to the Emmys in a couple of weeks for The Crown. Because, I mean, oh, God. Like, every single actor in that show is, like, 10 out of 10 phenomenal. Like, every single person should win something, but I think only one actress is nominated, and it's nominated for the Best Drama Series, which I see it winning, personally. I recommend that to everybody that likes the history or even the royal family. Ended a lot sooner than I wanted it to, like in a timescape kind of thing, how they did it. I watched the first episode of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. First episode's pretty good. I mean, it's more focused and centered for younger audiences, which is what the book series is. But it follows like pretty much verbatim and one-to-one from the book. So I like how they did that. Very good visuals and CGI and stuff. Still watching Suits. That's my show for work. And then I finished Halo, the Paramount Plus show, and the first season of it. Cannot recommend that enough. I really did enjoy that. It ended very, very, very well. I'm excited for season 2 in February. It even maybe we'll go back and play the Halo Infinite. I beat Halo Infinite, which apparently I was one mission away from doing it. Don't know why I didn't do that like 2 years ago when it came out. So I don't know what happened there. But that is done. But that's it. We've been watching Big Brother Reindeer Games. They had a little one-off thing, but I'm also big into reality TV show, if you're new. So, let's talk about though, Chris. I have a graphic. What if season 2, full-on spoilers for the first 3 episodes, because there's 9 episodes. I didn't watch any of these over the break besides this week. Did you, Chris?
No.
Okay. Just make sure you didn't go through and binge them all, because I watched a lot of people's saw people's reviews on the Brandon Davis's reviews, not a lot, and like he didn't put any spoilers on there. Yeah, he didn't put any spoilers in there, so it was very good. But we're going to talk about season 2, episodes 1, 2, and 3 tonight. I'm going to Wikipedia for this one, just because they are 20-minute episodes, so they're kind of short, quick, straight to the point on a lot of these. So it's not going to surprise some people. I did not like the majority of these episodes. There was one I thought was very well done, one that was okay, and one I was like, I could care less about anything going on in this story right now. And that one is, of course, episode 1, which why would you not make this one? Anyways, season 2, episode 1, titled "What If Nebula Joined the Nova Corps." This one was directed by Stephen Frank and written by Matthew Chauncey, which he looks like he did all of the episodes.
Chauncey.
Nova Prime recruits Nebula to join the Nova Corps following Ronan the Accuser's successful coup against Thanos, which is where the point breaks off from our MCU timeline to this one. 5 years later, after Xandar is sealed off from the universe to protect itself from Ronan's forces, Nebula discovers Yondu's body and receives orders from Nova Prime to investigate. She learns that Yondu located the codes to open the shield and enlists Kree soldier Jan Rog, who is played by Jude Law. Of course, Karen Gillan plays Nebula, to infiltrate the Nova Corps' mainframe and destroy them. Jan Rog betrays her, of course, revealing that he and Nova Prime plan to give up Xandar to Ronan. Nebula survives an execution attempt by Nova Prime's men, subsequently enlisting casino owner Howard the Duck and his subordinates Groot, Meek, and Korg, all played, except for Groot, by their original actors, including Taika Waititi. To stop Nova Prime. During their fight, Nebula reveals she realized Nova Prime's defection when she assigned the mission to her and altered the code so that the shield would close again as Ronan's ship, the Dark Aster, enters Xandar, destroying it and killing Ronan. Nova Prime tries to escape but falls to her death. The shield reopens as Nebula prepares to continue defending Xandar. One of the weaker episodes of What If, I think, if you include season 1, even in season 1, one of the weaker episodes.
I feel like this should have been scheduled after 2 or 3 bangers in a row to just give us a breather.
Correct.
Before you hit us with something else big. And they opened with it. I'm like you. I never asked myself the question of what if.
Yeah, that's
concerning this, and I didn't really care. I just kind of waited for it to get through and wondered because I didn't look at the schedule again either. So I was sitting there going, okay, wonder which one's next.
Yeah.
Because this just didn't do anything for me.
I asked Jamie if she wanted to watch any of these. Which one?
Howard the Duck was the best part of the show.
And, I loved having Taika Waititi back as Korg. I'm a big Taika fan, so... and it was... animation was good, as always. They're never failing in the animation department for the show. Voice acting was great, but just the story, I don't think anybody cared about. I don't think there's one person that cared about this story at all. And it's cool to have Jude Law back, but cool, awesome.
I kind of doubt. I don't want to speak for them, obviously, but I kind of doubt the people involved with this particular episode were like, yeah, this is going to be some great stuff.
This is going to be the best one we've got. Just filler. What if they had this done a long time ago? And they're like, oh, oops, we forgot to put this in season 1. Let's throw it into season 2.
Maybe.
Just make it the premiere episode. We'll have to make it one less. But the second episode, which was, I think, the strongest out of the 3. What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? Loved this episode. I think this was what if should be about. And okay, let's talk about it. Directed by Brian Andrews, written by Matthew Chauncey again. And this one came out December 23rd. In 1988, the Ravagers took Peter Quill to Ego, who urges him to help his expansion across the universe. So this is where it diverged. So in the original storyline for our MCU, Peter Quill stays with the Ravagers. The Ravagers do not drop him off to Ego, as was their plan. Well, as what they were paid for. So this is where we come back. 6 months later, after ravaging several worlds, Quill returns to Earth. In response, Peggy Carter, Howard Stark, recruit Bill Foster, King T'Chaka of Wakanda, Bucky Barnes, Dr. Wendy Lawson, and a reluctant Hank Pym, who brings his daughter Hope Van Dyne along. After a scuffle on Coney Island, the team detains Quill with help from Thor. As the team discusses their next move, Van Dyne frees Quill, who travels to Missouri. As T'Chaka, Foster, and Thor aid Carter's forces in holding back Ego, Pym and Lawson encounter Quill visiting his mother's grave. A sympathetic Pym convinces him to stand down against his father. Barnes, under the influence of his manipulators, prepares to assassinate Quill until Stark reminds him of his best friend Steve Rogers. As Ego overwhelms the heroes in attempts to obtain his seed, Pym and Quill... That sounds so gross.
Yeah.
Pym and Quill arrive in time to stop Pym, with the latter using the seed to destroy Ego's avatar. The team, minus Barnes, celebrates their victory before setting out to confront Ego himself. Before we talk about everything, the majority of the cast is back as their own characters. Michael Douglas as Hank Pym, Haley Atwell as Peggy Carter, John Slattery as Howard Stark, Kurt Russell as Ego, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Lawrence Fishburne as Bill Foster / Goliath, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Entendwa Kani as King T'Chaka, Madeline McGraw as Hope Van Dyne, Mace Montgomery Miskell as Peter Quill, which we never really had a younger guy, and then Carrie Tabazian as Marvell / Wendy Lawson. So I really, really enjoyed this. Getting the Avengers together in the late 80s was very cool because it's exactly what would have happened. Having Hank pretty much adopt Peter Quill, and then which essentially starts the Young Avengers in this world, was very, very, very cool. The animation was great. Having Chris Hemsworth back as Thor was a very nice touch on Coney Island. The animation was phenomenal for this whole episode too. And I really, really, really liked the story. Again, it's one of those, though, I wish was a little bit longer, but I understand it is what the show is. So,
yeah. I wish even the actors, like RDJ would come back to voice Tony Stark, and because that was something that I kept coming back to in the next episode was, it's good. It's not too distracting. It's just it's different enough when they're not the original actor,
and you could tell.
Yeah. So it was nice having a lot of those folks come back. It was an interesting what if too, like because that's something that changes so much.
Right, just one decision changes a lot.
Yeah.
So and seeing a very super powered Peter Quill, is he like an 8-year-old or whatever he was, 10-year-old, something like that. And he was just going to Coney Island, just enjoying it, but he was killing people as he was walking across. Didn't even know because he was so radioactive, but he had taken over worlds already by this point. It's just very cool to see, and that's why Thor came in. He's like, and he's already taken over Jotunheim, and there's one other one he took over. And he was
Asgard, Jotunheim.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm here to avenge. And I was like, so good.
Well, he said Earth was the last one. He'd already gotten
he's gotten everything. So like, that was very good. I really, really like this one. So far, this is the top. We really watched 3, but this is the top for this season for me, which apparently the finale is excelente. So
I did like the reaction from Peggy when she sees Bucky.
Yeah, she knew right away. So did Howard Stark.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just have to deal with it right now. We understand, but this is the world-ending event. We have to work with whoever we got to work with. I was like, I wasn't expecting Bucky though. Like this whole thing, I was not expecting him because we saw T'Chaka. I was like, okay, that makes sense at this time frame. And then he shows up, and then Thor at the end. I was like, okay, this is a pretty great team. So we even got the original Goliath. I mean, awesome. So, episode 3, titled "What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas," directed by Brian Andrews again. This one's written by A.C. Bradley and Matthew Chauncey, and this one was Christmas Eve, December 24th. Which, on Christmas Eve, Happy Hogan is assigned to oversee security at Avengers Tower for an annual holiday party until Justin Hammers and his henchmen, Sergey and Rusty, break out of prison and assault the tower for Tony Stark's technology and a sample of Bruce Banner's blood. While attempting to save the blood sample, Hogan is accidentally injected with it, causing him to gradually transform into a Hulk-like monster while retaining his intelligence. With the Avengers busy and Stark's AI Jarvis inactive, Hogan contacts Darcy Lewis, who tries to find a new AI to reboot the tower's systems. However, she is taken hostage by Hammer's group, who hijack the Iron Legion and Stark's Hulkbuster armor. Once his transformation is complete, Hogan destroys the Legion and defeats Hammer. While Hammer is taken back into custody, the Avengers return, praise Hogan for his efforts, and resume the Christmas party. Everyone is back for this one. Jon Favreau is Happy Hogan, and they're calling his Hulk the Freak. Kat Dennings as Darcy, Colby Smulders as Maria Hill, which was great to have her back. Sam Rockwell as one of those, you could tell it was her. Sam Rockwell as Justin Hammer, Chris Hemsworth back as Thor, Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, Jeremy Renner as Clint Hart Barton, Mick Wingert as Tony Stark, Lake Bell as Natasha Romanoff, and Josh Keaton as Steve Rogers as Captain America. Josh Keaton also did Captain America for last season as well. So
right.
Very good Christmas episode. I do think I am going to insert this into my Christmas rewatches because it was just very fun, short, quick. The jokes hit when it needed to. The having Clint and Bruce in the toy store getting the last Tony Stark or Iron Man doll or whatever it was for his kids was very funny. I really enjoyed that part. And then everyone turning on Hulk and, well, the Freak. And then Darcy, no, he's a part of the team. That's the bad guy. And Justin Hammer goes, hi. And I was just, some of the nice quirks that he had from Iron Man 2 was in this. And I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah. This is another episode, though, where with the voices, because you hear Lake Bell as Natasha, and the first thing I'm thinking is, that's Ivy.
Yep.
I can't separate those two.
It's, when you're a great voice actor and you know, like, and you've got that one role that you do so well in and you're so recognizable in, it's hard to do anything different. And that's how, like, with like Kat Dennings, I immediately knew it was her as Darcy, and everybody else I was like, okay, we've got our original actors too. So it's just very cool to see that. I'm curious to see who we get going forward.
Kat Dennings was she had some of the best moments.
Yes. Her talking to that one, what was it, Russian interface? I forget what the name of it was very funny. When she was hacking the room.
Wagner.
Right. Yeah. And when she's hacking the room and she opens the program and the door slides up and Happy goes, what, you just thought it was just a one room? She goes, yeah, like in every movie ever. And I was like, yep, that's very funny. It's very cool. So, but I'm really excited, honestly, to get to some of these other ones.
I liked a lot of the homages to Die Hard.
Yes, it was very Die Hardish, and they kept trying to talk about it, but they never said Die Hard. I was like, that's very tongue in cheek, and it was very, very good and written really well for that. So, because they brought that up multiple times, like, oh, they're talking about Die Hard, and they kept listing other movies.
Like when he starts crawling through the ductwork.
Mm-hmm.
That's Die Hard.
Yeah.
When Justin Hammer falls at the end, that's.
Mm-hmm. It was very like homage to Die Hard.
Yeah, very much.
So, but that's What If Season 2, Episodes 1, 2, and 3. Next week, we are going to do 4, 5, and 6, along with Echo, Episode 1, 2, and 3. So we'll have 6 episodes to talk about, which we talked about this before we hit record. It's going to be a weird start to our year as far as the Nerdwide podcast is concerned, because usually we've got TV shows by now to talk about. So we'll have 2 more weeks of Echo and What If, and then after that it's we'll talk about that between ourselves and keep you all updated as we go, because I don't think we've got any besides Echo, no more MCU shows.
I mean, about the only thing we could do is, we might be able to get caught up on some more Harley Quinn
until my subscription runs out.
Yeah.
So,
or, see what Disney has with the older series like Agent Carter, because I don't think you've seen.
I've not seen it, Chris. Keep that in mind, because I do need to watch that.
Yeah.
Oh, because we are. So I meant to bring that up when we were talking about the past couple of weeks. So with the prices of everything going up, we've had to cancel a lot of our, here in the Haynes household, cancel a lot of our memberships to things. Only things we're keeping are Netflix and Disney, which Netflix is arguably the highest one, but the whole family uses it. And then Disney for MCU stuff, and Stella uses that the most. So, but everything else is getting kicked until something comes back on, which, is what it is, but that's what happens when they keep increasing the prices and can't do anything else about it. But hit them where it supposedly hurts. So, not really any news over the past 3 weeks. I've been trying to keep up with a lot of things for movie and TV news. Not a lot of things. The Emmys are fastly approaching. We just found out they had last night the Emmys for, what do they call it? I read it earlier. Me and you were just talking.
The creative. Creative Awards.
Creative Arts Emmys, where The Last of Us completely swept it. I've got a list of it. They won 8 Emmys last night, Chris. 8. Yeah, best.
8?
Yeah. Best guest actor with Nick Offerman. No surprise there. Best sound mixing, best sound editing, best guest actress, which was Riley. I forget the actress's name. I'm so sorry. I know her character's name was Riley in the show. Best picture editing, best main title design, best prosthetic makeup, of course, and best special visual effects. That one's a little weird to me because you would think Gen V or The Boys would, but amazing regardless. So 8 Emmys is a lot. So, and that's not even the main stuff yet.
Real quick, I just checked Disney Plus. Agent Carter is on there. It aired for 2 seasons. There's 18 episodes. So
that should give us plenty of content.
Plenty of
stuff
filler. Yeah.
Okay. Well, here I was worried. We're good to go there. Releases this week, January the 8th to January the 14th. Wednesday, January 10th, all 5 episodes of Echo drop at once, which is the first time they're doing this on Disney Plus and Hulu. So,
not a fan.
Yeah, that's not good for our show. And then Thursday, January 11th, the prequel series to Ted, titled Ted, drops on Peacock. The first episode. So
you're very creative with these names.
It's Ted, then Ted 2 for the movies.
Yeah.
Which I've only seen the first one, have not seen the second one. But I am curious about this show. I'm going to keep it on my radar. Well, no, with Peacock, I don't know when our subscription is, because that's the one that we have a year subscription with. I think March or April it expires. So I might check that one out. But that's the one we got, it comes down to $7.99 a month because we have ads on it. But
yeah.
But that's it for TV.
Well, shit. That's a show.
Now, we got to talk about movies. I want to hear all your movies you watched this week.
All right. So, you haven't watched anything else movie-wise, right?
No. I wanted to watch some Christmas movies. Wasn't able to get into any of those or get to be able to watch it. It's just very busy end of the year. The hospital's been very busy. We are ramping into the busy season, and it's just been chaotic and not a fun time. So
kids out on their new bikes wrecking and breaking an arm.
Well, it's mainly your flus, your COVIDs, your COPDs. I haven't had any fun ones. So, come on. Give us something fun to talk about.
All right, yeah. So I watched my New Year's resolution is to watch a movie a day on average. So far, I've been able to actually do it, which is new for me. I'm not usually this good at resolutions. So I normally last 2 days.
Hey, it's a win though. So I'll take it.
So the first one I watched was Clue, based on the board game. This came out 1985, I think it was. Tim Curry is the big actor here. It's got a really good cast in it, though, and they did something unique with it. They filmed multiple endings.
Really?
Yeah, so when you get it on disc, I don't know if you can do this if you find it streaming, but when you get it on disc, you can choose to either watch a random ending to the movie or have it play all three different endings at the end of the
I
movie.
like that. I think
Yeah,
that should be in a lot more of your murder mystery shows and movies. I
yeah,
mean, that's genius. And see, that'd be funny too, because I wonder how they did it when it came. Did it come to theaters?
yeah,
So I wonder how they did that, because you could do, hey, this now we're playing this ending, but this theater over here they're playing that ending, and kind of do it that way, because you can drive sales up that way.
yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think I've looked into that before, and I want to say they sent just different endings to different places.
So smart. I love that.
That's what I think they did. Someone will probably correct me.
Mm,
Maybe they just had one set ending and then they did the others for home video.
right.
But
That's pretty cool though. I like that.
yeah, I gave that 3.5 on Letterbox. The next one I watched was
Well,
21.
was that your first movie of the year? Was that one ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The next one I watched was 21. I gave it 2.5 stars. Um, it's okay. We've seen a lot of movies like this. This is um, Jim Sturgis. Is that right? I'm drawing a blank right now. Kevin Spacey's in
Oh,
this.
I
Kate
have seen this
Bosworth.
movie actually a
It,
long time ago.
it's actually based on a true story, but they
Hmm.
changed a significant amount of it. Um, about a group of MIT students who fly to Vegas every weekend to count cards and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mm.
Um, Lawrence Fishburne is
Yeah,
in
there's a
this as
lot of
well.
good people in this.
He,
Josh Gad, Kate Bosworth.
uh-huh,
Hmm.
yeah,
It's been a minute since I've
yeah.
seen that movie.
It's just, it's okay.
Yeah.
The We've seen so much stuff like this on TV and in movies now that it's probably affected what I think of it.
Mm.
But it's average, I would say. Um, then I watched War Games, which has always been one of my favorite movies. 4 stars. Matthew Broderick, Ali Sheedy, Dabney Coleman, Barry Corbin is in this. William H. Macy is in this in an uncredited role as a NORAD police officer. But very good movie. It's 1983, and if you're curious about the beginnings of the internet,
Does
check
it show its
check.
age?
So it's Matthew Broderick's character is all into computers. He's pretty much a genius, and he's got this whole setup in his house. He can call into any computer in the world,
Hmm.
and he can go. He what he's doing when the film starts is he's logging into the school's mainframe to change his grades because he doesn't really like going to class. So
Oh, well, you fuck. I mean, can you blame him? Because
no,
I definitely cannot.
and back then there was no way to catch that because most people wouldn't do it.
Right.
You know, they didn't have those security measures in place. But he's looking for a video game company's mainframe so that he can log in and see what this mystery game is that they're working on. He thinks he's found it, but what he's actually found is a computer known as the Whopper that is on site at NORAD, which keeps running computer simulations of World War III.
Oh.
And he has started a game that the computer starts playing, and it's showing up on the NORAD screen. So they think the Soviets are starting World War III, and they're getting ready to go to DEFCON 1 and fire off missiles, and the Soviets are going, what are you guys doing? We see
Right.
activity. And so this whole thing has to be worked out by the end of the film. It's really interesting, though. It's definitely a watch. I gave it 4 stars. I've always liked it.
Hmm.
Then I watched a documentary called Just Desserts, The Making of Creepshow.
Oh, that's
Which
the
is,
one that we've been wanting to check out. I wanted to check out too. Because we
yeah,
watched
that,
that 2 years ago? Creep
yeah.
show? Yeah.
It's a good little documentary that has some interesting bits of information in it. They talked to some of the folks that were in the movie behind the scenes and all this, and you get a few little nuggets of stories. 4 stars for a documentary that's pretty good. Came out in '07, I think. Then I watched To Have and Have Not, which is Humphrey Bogart, Lauren Bacall. This came out in 1944. It's the film that they met on, and then they got together and became one of those early Hollywood power couples.
Oh, one of those. Your Ben Affleck's and Jennifer Garner's. Well, you can't really say that anymore, but
No. Um, really good movie though. He's a charter boat captain in Martinique, and the resistance is trying to rise up, and they want his help, and he doesn't want to get involved. He just wants to make his money and stay out of it.
Because why wouldn't you?
Right. That's probably the smartest thing to do. Then I watched Summer School, which has Mark Harmon and Kirstie Alley in it. Came out in the late 80s, and it's one of those fun movies you can just put on. It's not too complicated of a plot. He's got to get these kids to all pass or he loses his job. And she helps him because she's actually a teacher, and he's been a gym teacher, so he doesn't really... In fact, one of the first scenes in the movie, he hands his students their grade cards. He said, "You might notice your grade cards are blank. Because I feel like who better to evaluate you than you?" So he just has them give themselves their own grade.
One way to do it.
But it's a nice little movie, 3.5 stars. And then finally, last night, The Monster Squad, which I saw when I was a kid, and I've always liked it. Just a group of kids that are like junior high age that hang out. They have their own little club, and it just so happens that Dracula and the Wolf Man and Frankenstein's monster and the Mummy and the creature from the Black Lagoon, and they all are in this town because Dracula needs this amulet that's been hidden there, and these kids have to stop him.
Oh, of course that would be in that random town.
Yeah. But 4 stars for that as well. Good little group of movies.
Yeah. I like it. You got a various range of like genres there as well.
Yeah. But we're here to talk about a movie I gave 3 stars to.
That was what I gave that to as well.
And that's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. I don't even want to read the full plot for this, to be honest.
I mean, you honestly don't have to. There's there's not a lot, honestly, to it.
It's essentially Black Manta wants to destroy Earth, because he's just trying to wreck the environment. Yep. And
it's a very big eco-friendly movie.
Yeah, and
that's the best way to describe that.
He also needs Arthur Curry's blood or the blood of a blood relative. So he ends up targeting Arthur's son.
Yep.
And the movie's about everyone coming together. Arthur, his brother, everybody coming together just to try to stop Black Manta.
Honestly, did not make the most sense there either. A lot of the plot here.
I think by this point, they kind of knew that the DCEU was on its last legs.
Amber Heard had more spots than I thought she would.
Yeah, I was, and I told you when we were coming out of the movie, and I know it's probably not fair, right? But I would be into the story, watching the film. She would come on screen, and all I could think was, "Oh, she's the one that pooped in the bed."
Yep, she's the one that put a poop on the pillow.
And it wasn't like a ha-ha thing. It was just like that was the first thought that would come to mind. Like,
right.
Oh, she. I don't know how to get by that because, like I said, it wasn't like I would sit there and just eventually it would come to me. It
just happened.
You see her, boom, that's what you think of. There were some good performances, I thought. I thought Patrick Wilson was really good in this.
Yes. His character redeemed himself from the first movie. Now, this is nowhere as good as the first movie. So if you're expecting that,
No.
do not. You have very high expectations.
Right.
I thought a lot of the humor hit. A lot of Jason Momoa, his life and stuff was very much put into this movie. Uh, if you're squeamish about cockroaches, probably shouldn't watch it.
Especially the last scene.
Yep, two good little bits here. But it's just it was very weird for a last DCEU movie. And
Yeah.
it's very apt of what the DCEU was, though, and RIP.
Randall Park is in it. I thought he was good in his role.
Very weird to see him. Like I didn't know he was in the movie because there was no press for this. They didn't have a red carpet. They didn't do any of that kind of stuff. And
Well, and I think what kind of hurt it too, I don't know how much they would have done, but with the writers and actors strike,
yeah,
the months leading up to it, they couldn't do it. I was surprised after watching all the movies. I was surprised they didn't just flip this and Blue Beetle.
yeah. I felt Blue Beetle was a stronger movie,
Yeah,
especially
But
with
also-
the Blueberry character moving forward, but
Yeah.
not the story. Something's very. But yeah, that makes more sense though.
but yeah, it very much was a case of Jason Momoa was playing Jason Momoa with a different name.
Yep, and he could swim real well and have Aquaman powers.
Yeah,
So that's essentially what it was. I mean, his Harleys, some of his Harleys were in the film. His jewelry was in the film. His wardrobe was in the film. But you know, it's DCU's dead though.
Martin Short does the voice for Kingfish.
Which I did not realize that until after the movie was over. I looked at IMDb.
Yeah,
It was because
So-
I had the ruptured eardrum though, and I couldn't actually hear him. And
it was just not. I don't know. It was definitely a drop off from the first one
yeah,
compared to the other movies around it.
which made $1 billion, by the way.
Yeah,
And this one, I don't even think. I want to see what it is right now.
compared to other movies around it in the DCEU that released this year. Well, I haven't seen The Flash. I'm not necessarily in a hurry to do that, but
Oh, that's right. We still have to watch that. Budget of
really.
205 million. Box office to date, 334.8 million. So just a quarter million of $1 billion. So, you know,
it's a drop off. I feel like this was. I think I'm going to end up liking this better than The Flash once I've watched The Flash.
yeah.
It's probably about equal to Shazam for me.
You know,
For me.
movie of the year over here.
And it doesn't touch Blue Beetle. So.
No, it's one of those things. It just, unfortunately, I really enjoyed Aquaman. Just didn't. This one was a flop to me. Honestly, 2.5 stars closer to where I'm at. But
And you know the crazy thing about it too is that stories have been coming out the past few days that the Marvels is now officially the worst performing domestic box office MCU film
which
in
is
history.
crazy to me of how good of a movie that was.
It's way better than this.
Yes,
And I don't know.
there's a lot
I know-
of biases when it comes to the media on
Yeah.
things. So, which is very unfortunate.
And I think the big one with the Marvels is you have all female leads.
And
And I think that's part of it.
yep, which is very, very unfortunate. So,
All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to say about it?
no, I don't have anything for the Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Cool
Oh, it's the
visuals.
last-
There were some cool visuals too, but
Yeah, there were some humorous moments, for sure. But the visuals were nice.
some broken legs right at the beginning. A little horror theme here as well. CGI towards the end for the main villain was a little, but everything else was really well done. I felt like, even the underwater scenes.
Yeah, and the big bad was voiced by Dolph Lundgren.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All the babies should be dead at the end, but whatever. What do I know? He's a metahuman, so actually that plans out. So,
as Tyler indicated before, we're not going to be doing a movie review next week. We're just going to do 6 episodes of shows.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't have one there. Releases this week for cinemas. Mean Girls comes out January 12th. What year are we living in now?
Well, this is the musical bit of it, which is weird, but whatever. I'm sure it'll be a hit somewhere.
I wonder if Lindsay Lohan's coming back for that.
Big question.
The Book of Clarence.
I do want to see that eventually.
January 12th. And The Beekeeper in cinemas, January 12th.
The Beekeeper, why does that... Because that is...
Keeper of Bees.
That is the one with Jason Statham in it. That's why. One man's brutal campaign for vengeance takes on national stakes after he's revealed to be a former operative of a powerful and clandestine organization known as the Beekeepers. So...
Okay, so it's like most other Jason Statham movies.
100% correct.
Now, what is... Let's see, The Book of Clarence.
Yes, that's... Let me see, Book of Clarence. Why does it say 2023 film? Is it 2024?
Down on his luck, man struggles to find a better life for his family while fighting to free himself of debt. Captivated by the power and glory of the rising Messiah, he risks everything to carve his own path to a divine life, ultimately discovering the redemptive power of belief may be his only way out.
Yeah, it's got Lakeith Stanfield's your main actor, James McAvoy's in it, Benedict Cumberbatch, Michael Ward, Omar Sy, R.J. Seiler, Anna Diop, and Marianne Jean-Baptiste, and Nicholas Pinnock. Which, Nicholas Pinnock, where do I know him from? Oh, Captain America. That's not what I know him from, but he's in it. Oh, he's into Django. Some stuff. Oh. Eventually I'll see that one. It's like a fun little historical and kind of sort of period piece. Mm-hmm. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, the first show of the Nerdwide podcast is done. Episode 140. I hope you all really enjoyed it. If you're new, make sure you're following us on all the social media accounts. We are on Threads, Insta, Twitter, and Facebook. Threads and Facebook are our most active platforms. And make sure you're following us there. You can follow Nerd. I've already said that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, whatever podcasting service and YouTube channel you do use. We do movie, TV reactions, trailer reactions, all that sort of stuff on our podcast. We also do book reviews, things like that. Hopefully, that's something I would like to do more so, is do more book reviews on the channel. If it's just like one of us just sitting in front of the camera talking about a book we recently read, something like that, just to put that on there. Don't really have any books. I guess I do the Zachary Levi one. I'd like to talk about that eventually. But thank you all so much for watching this week's episode and or listening to this week's episode of the Nerdwide Podcast. Next week, we've got 3 more episodes of What If, the first 3 episodes of Echo, and that will sum it up. Unless there's any big news, that's what we'll be talking about next week. But until then, thank you so much for watching.
Later, guys.